So welcome. It is 8:06. Sorry for the delay. I had some technical issues. We were waiting in. How is everybody doing? How are you doing? Give me any sort of reaction on your Zoom to let us know how you're doing. How are you doing? Well, I can see a heart. I can see more hearts. I can see celebration. Oh, there we go. Look at that. We have a whole animation of hearts. And yes, thank you for writing in the chat. I'm doing great. I'm doing good. Wonderful. So today is a very special day. Today is a very special day for us at JH because this is the last of our intern talk series for this batch. We're going to open up another batch pretty soon. Okay, but this is the last one. So I invite all of you to hold Nafla in this embrace of love and acceptance. And thank you, Nafla, so much for showing up, taking on the last workshop. Okay, it's not always the easiest to do the last after your colleagues have gone in. And I tell you, she is not going to disappoint you. She always has a wonderful pace in her workshops, very hardworking. And over to you, Nafla. All over to you. It's your day, your evening.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I don't think anybody else would have done a better job introducing me than you. So thank you, Ms. Rushma. And yes, like she said, it is our last intern series, and I'm super, super grateful to be the last person to go. It's been an exciting journey doing this internship with Ms. Rushma. So I'm really grateful for her input in, curating this workshop as well. So without further ado, let me share my screen and welcome you all to today's talk. So good evening. For those of you who don't know me, I am Nafla Nassar. I hold a diploma in teaching English. I have a bachelor's in business management, psychology, and currently I'm following my postgraduate diploma in counseling and psychosocial support at the University of Colombo. And most importantly, I'm an intern at J.O.I.N Health. So for today's talk, just a few, housekeeping rules. Feel free to use the chat. You can always unmute and share. You can also keep your cameras on if you feel like it, if you're ready for it. And also we have a small fun activity at the beginning. So I would really appreciate it if you could have a pen and a paper or even like the notes app on your phone ready. Feel free to take screenshots. I don't have any copyright issues. Go ahead and do that. And make notes if you need to. And do save the links that we share for later use, which I hope is useful for you. And most importantly, have fun. So 45 minutes of fun learning about water and mental health. So let us begin. Okay, so we're going to do a small sound activity. So what essentially this activity is about is I'm going to play an audio, and that audio is a mix of 5 different sounds, but all of them are from one category, right? So as you listen on your pen and paper or your phone, just note down what the 5 different sounds are. So it'll be played only once, so you'll have to listen very intently. Can I have a thumbs up if you guys are all ready? Ready? Okay, here we go. Okay, so that's it. And I hope you were able to note down what the sounds were. So what we're going to do now is you are going to either unmute yourself or you're going to type in the chat. And you're going to introduce yourself first. So you say, hey, my name is so and so, whatever. And then you say, okay, these were the 5 sounds that I heard. It's okay if you didn't get all 5 sounds, if you just heard like one, or you know what category this belongs to, go for it. And I would invite our interns to hold their answers for a little bit because I know we already did this, and allow the crowd to kind of make some guesses. So let me just check the chat. Feel free to unmute and share. Okay, so we have someone who has mentioned tap water, raindrops, no idea. Yeah, that's okay. Waterfall, stream, and sea. Okay. Anybody else would like to go?
Another's talking.
Video call. Video call I want.
Don't put video call.
Can we slowly unmute? Mute people? Mute people? Can we do that? Okay.
Already.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Hi, I'm Asma. Hi, Asma. Running water, droplets of water, sprayed water, rain pouring, and ocean waves. Okay. Thank you for sharing, Asma. Let's see if you're right. Anybody else would like to share?
There's another share.
Okay. Hi, Sajda. Runny tap, raindrops. Okay, no idea what the third one is. Spring or stream and waves. Okay, it's interesting. Anybody else would like to share? Thank you, Sajda, for sharing. Any more shares? Just another. Oh, okay. I'm getting a whole lot of shares.
Yes, I think it takes time to type, so
Yeah.
you can just wait. Go ahead.
Hi, Farah. Here are my answers. Tap, rain. Okay, a lot of people couldn't get the third one. Let's see. Falling water, waves. Thank you for sharing, Farah. Aisha. Hi, Aisha. Stream, raindrops, something being slammed on water. Interesting. River and ocean. Okay. Thank you, Aisha, for sharing that. One more share. Can I have just one more share? Anybody who wants to unmute and share would like to hear your voice. No? Okay.
Oh, there.
Okay, one last share. Anusha. Water from a tap, dripping, churning. I like that word. Rain and sea. Okay, let's see if you're right. Okay, so I'm gonna play the video and you can check if your answers were right.
Me? Who's this? Me?
Okay, so how is that? Third one was tricky. Yes, third one was very tricky. But you did a really good job. And thank you for all the shares. So good job, everyone. Thank you for. I'm really surprised that none of you, mentioned like a tap leaking or like, it sounds okay. There you go. Creepy. So it sounds creepy. Yes, not everyone is going to like the sounds. It's not always soothing. I really thought the third one was somebody just splashing. Yeah, it's mostly splashing, I guess. Okay, so thank you everyone for participating. Before we get into the topic for today, I would like to make a small disclaimer. So I'm not a medical officer, okay? I'm not a doctor. I don't have my MBBS. I'm just here to encourage you to use water to improve your mental health. So if you have any specific doubts in relation to your own like personal health, it's always best to ask your doctor for advice. But this workshop is mainly focusing on how you can use water to improve your mental health. I hope that's clear. So let's begin. So now we know a lot of things about the physical benefits of drinking water. People nonstop, talk about it. You get WhatsApp forwards, YouTube videos, shorts, all of that, right? But there's very less talk on how this can impact, how dehydration can impact our mental health. So the reason why we have to talk about dehydration and mental health is because 60% of our bodies on average throughout our lifespan is made up of water. So when we get dehydrated, what happens is our physical body and our mental functioning also gets affected. So it's two things. It's not always, okay, physical. There is a mental aspect as well. So today's workshop is going to be focused on hydration and mental health. So what am I going to share? I'm going to share just two fun facts, right? And a few tips on how you can implement these fun facts in your daily life. So nothing heavy, just two things for you to remember. Okay, so let's begin. Fun fact number one, drinking water can keep your brain sharp. Okay, so what's the opposite of drinking water? Being dehydrated, right? So being dehydrated can mess with your concentration. It can mess with your mood. It can mess with your energy. And here are some things that can happen. Okay, number one, you can find it difficult to concentrate. You can have trouble focusing. You can have trouble maintaining your attention, which in turn can lead to memory issues. So you might forget what you were just doing or what just someone said, right? And all of this can lead to some sort of confusion. So you can feel a little disoriented, unable to think clearly, and some physical symptoms may start showing up. So headaches, vertigo, meaning you're not able to balance yourself, right? Feeling unusually tired, feeling a little, like I'm lacking energy, I don't feel like doing it, right? So your motivation also goes down because your physical state is not so great. Then, most importantly, you feel increased irritability. So you experience some mood changes, and you might also feel a little, increased anxiety, increased feelings of depression. And this is not the normal thing. Like, for example, when you have an exam coming up, you might feel anxious. It's normal to feel anxious. But when you're dehydrated, that state of anxiety might be even more heightened. So you feel more anxious than you usually do. And then the last one, slower reaction times. So let's say somebody walked up to me and I'm like dehydrated right now. If someone tapped me on the back right now, it would take me a few seconds to realize someone tapped me on my back because I have a very delayed response to this tap, right? So my decision-making process, which is my decision to turn and look who it is, might be delayed. So these are some of the things that dehydration can do to your brain. So don't worry, with proper hydration, these symptoms can improve. So since we're talking about hydration, can somebody tell me how many glasses or liters of water should you drink per day? Pretty sure this was drilled to us in school. Health science. Okay, 2 to 3 liters, 8, I'm assuming cups, 2 liters, 2, again, I'm assuming it's liters, 2 to 3 liters. Okay. Okay, I'm getting the same answers over and over again. So 8 glasses. Okay, there we go. So there is this thing where we have been drilled in our heads that, this is the amount of water that everybody should be drinking. But actually, it depends. So it depends on your gender. It depends on your body weight. It depends on the level of exercise that you're getting. It depends on the weather for the day, right? Some days are sunnier than the others. And it also depends on special considerations like if you're taking medication, if you are under some sort of treatment, right? So all of these factors actually affect your water intake, meaning how much of water you take per day. So then the question comes up, so how do I know how much water to drink per day then, right? So it's very simple. There are calculators online. We'll be sharing this link later. There are some calculators online that you can use to check your water intake based on your height, your weight, your level of exercise. Okay, you just have to input 3 things and it will tell you how much water you need to drink. Once again, reminding you, it's just a rough count. If you feel like you need more water, by all means, drink more water. Okay, so who's ready for tips? Now I've shared the fun fact and like I promised, I'm going to give you tips. Yes, Rashmi.
Ready for your tips.
Okay, I thought you raised your hand. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Go, let's
So-
go.
Fun fact tip number 1. If you're like me, you will forget to drink water. So schedule your water breaks. That's my first tip for the day. Most of the time, it's not the fact that we don't want to drink water. It's the fact that we forget to drink water. So sometimes keeping alarms on your phone might work. And sometimes using certain apps to track your water intake and getting notifications would work. Sometimes there's another technique that we can use known as behavioral activation. So this is a technique where, let's assume, okay, let me just give you the example of a burger. Okay, let's say you have a burger and you want to add on cheese or you want to add on lettuce. The burger is already there. You're just adding something on. Something similar to that. This behavioral activation technique means you have a routine that you're already doing. Like, for example, you're waking up every day in the morning. What you're doing next is you're going to attach this drinking water habit to that routine. So you would tell yourself, as soon as I wake up, I'm going to drink so and so much of water. Right? So with an existing routine, when you attach this, it becomes very easy. It becomes a trigger. So you can immediately remember, okay, I have to drink water. I just woke up. What's the next thing to do? I need to drink water. So these are some examples of what you can do. You can also, remind yourself to drink water every time you sit down if you're working at a desk. You can remind yourself to drink water before meals, which is the recommended time, not after. You can also remind yourself to drink water after you finish. Like if you have multiple tasks on your to-do list, maybe after each task, just remind yourself to take a sip of water. I hope that's clear. Okay. So moving to the next part. So now some of you might be wondering, okay, I already drink water. What more do I need to do? I'm taking my needed intake. Great question, Medini. I'm coming to that. I'll come to that in a little bit. So if you're already consistent with your water intake, then maybe you can try this. Okay, so I'm just going to demonstrate something, and it's called turning your water breaks into mini mindful sessions. So what you do, take your water, okay, take a deep breath in, out through your mouth, take a sip, and then deep breath out. It's so simple, but what it does is it helps you center yourself. So deep breath in, take a tiny sip of water, and then deep breath out. So what mindfulness means is essentially paying full attention to where you are right now. You're not in the future, you're not in the past, you're bringing all your senses to the present. So that's one pro tip that I would recommend if you are already drinking water. Let's say you already have a schedule going. This is something that you can think of. So why and what is the mental health benefit of drinking water? So there is this thing called serotonin, right? Serotonin is a neurotransmitter. It's a chemical in our brain. And this guy is actually the feel-good chemical. He's in charge of regulating mood, appetite, sleep, memory, social behavior, all of that. So actually staying hydrated boosts the brain's energy and helps produce serotonin. So we need serotonin, right? So we need water to produce serotonin. And also interestingly, in the future, right? Not immediately, but in the future, if you have been drinking sufficient water, there's a very lower risk of developing depression or anxiety. So studies have found this and it's research based. So you can take it as it is. Okay. So we looked at the health benefits and the mental health benefits of drinking water. Can anyone share what are the problems that we encounter when we want to start drinking more water? Any shares? Yes, Anusha, feeling irritated during the heat spell. I've been through that as well. Sometimes you get really angry and then you realize you just need to drink some water. Loo breaks, yes. There we go. Okay. So the most common obstacle to drinking water is people say, oh, I have to go pee then. I have to go pee all the time. I can't be bothered going to the washroom so many times, right? So typically it takes about 30 minutes to 2 hours after drinking water for most people to feel the need to go to the washroom, right? And the average bladder capacity is about 400 to 600 ml. And it's very normal for you to feel like you need to go to the loo after you drink some water, unless you have a specific medical condition which is making the process really difficult. So what you can do is, given this information, you can always adjust your water breaks according to this. So let's say you're traveling somewhere and you're going to be on a bus for like 3 to 4 hours, and maybe you can take your water towards the end of the ride rather than drinking in the beginning, because you might have to use the washroom. So that's something that a lot of people complain of. I have to fill my water bottle most of the time. Yeah, that's good. If you're drinking a lot of water, that's really, really good. Appetite may reduce. Okay, that's interesting. That's something I haven't thought of before. Thank you for sharing, Gayatri. It's something I might have to look into. Okay, so like Medhani asked before, does soft drinks, tea, coffee, fruit juices, and other beverages like alcohol count towards my water intake? What do you think? Yes, no, maybe. I would like some shares. No, maybe. Okay. Anybody who says yes? Fruit juices are all right. Okay. Depends on the beverage. Okay. That's also interesting. Okay. So actually, if you drink, for example, soft drinks, your kidneys actually need more water. It needs more water to process the ingredients that are in the soft drink. So essentially what happens is you end up being dehydrated and you're putting extra strain on your kidneys because you're taking these beverages that are not water. So what's the solution? You just drink plain water. Okay. So now you might wonder, okay, now I drink plain water. What's the next obstacle? Water has no taste. Okay. So that's also another common complaint that people have. Water has absolutely no taste. How do I drink this? Actually, if you do a small Google search, you can find a lot of water recipes or fruit infused water online. And I'm going to share just one that I really, really like. Lemon cucumber water. So you can take a screenshot of this if you really want to go and try this sometime. But meanwhile, while you're taking the screenshot, I would like to just remind you, please be careful with the fruits that you use. If the fruits are too ripe, your water is not going to taste that good. It might go bad very soon. Or if there is even like a dot of, a tiny rotten piece on your fruit, even gonna help. And also just be careful. You need to wash your fruits properly. You need to cut them in the right sizes and put them in the water, and don't leave your water out for too long. So this is not like your normal cool fridge water. You can't just leave it for whenever you want. There's a specific time for each recipe, which you have to drink it by. So for this, you let it sit for 30 minutes and then you can drink within the day. So I hope that was useful for you. And we've reached the end of Fun Fact 1. Any tips or recipes or any obstacles that you faced that you would like to share before we move to the next fun fact? Anybody wants to share? I'm looking to the side because my chat is on another screen, so don't think I'm ignoring you. Anyone wants to share?
You know, what I've noticed is one other great way to stay hydrated
Okay.
is chewing on a cucumber. It keeps you hydrated, it doesn't tax your kidneys,
Sure.
and you don't need to pee that often.
Sure. That's it.
That's another thing you can do. And it is true that when you do feel hungry, it's actually an indication. Probably most of you, if you feel like, oh my God, I'm just so hungry, but I just ate. I ate not too long ago. Drink some water. It's probably you needing to stay hydrated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes we confuse the brain signals of, hunger and thirst, right? Watermelon is also a good way to get your water into your body. Yes. Orange slices taste yum in water too. Thank you for sharing, Sajida. So there you go. You have watermelon, you have orange slices in your water. I have a feeling that you guys have more recipes, better recipes than me. Okay, so let's move to the next part. So before we jump into the second fun fact, can anyone tell me if you know what a blue mind is? It's not a brain covered in blue paint. It's not anything weird like Avatar. What is a blue mind? Anybody likes to share? Take a guess. We're in a water and mental health workshop. What do you think a blue mind is? Peaceful space? Okay, that's a good guess. Any more shares? Give it about 10 seconds. Okay, that was a good guess though. So before we jump into blue mind, I would like to remind you that for millions and millions of years, all of us, humans, Homo sapiens, we lived in nature. So we survived by being in forests and other natural habitats. No, it's not a sad mind because being blue is sad, but that's another way of interpreting it. We'll look at it in a second. So what I was saying is that humans lived in nature, we survived in nature. Nature was our shopping mall, right? Right. Nowadays, what we do is we order something from the comfort of our homes and it comes. Or we go to the shopping mall and we buy what we want. But back in the day, man had to actually go out into nature. If he wanted warmth, he needed to go out and get firewood. If he needed, water, he needed to go to like a stream or a waterfall or someplace and get water, right? So we were interacting with nature a lot back in the day because that was our main mode of survival. Now we have a barter system. So now we give money and things come to our doorstep. So by removing this whole nature from the equation and by adding technology in, we've disrupted our life a little bit. So if you're interested in knowing more about what I just spoke on, you can always go and Google the term ecotherapy. It's a very interesting topic. It's connected to what a blue mind is, but I'm not going to go into too much of detail. So what a blue mind is essentially is a meditative state. It's a very relaxed state that people go into when they are near, meaning near water, like a beach or a stream or a river, or when they're in water, maybe like a bathtub, right, or a jacuzzi. or when they are on water. Maybe let's say they are on a ship going on a cruise, okay? Or underwater, if you're doing like an underwater diving or scuba diving kind of a thing. So in this state, you have feelings of peace, happiness, and calmness. And why we call it the blue mind is because all of this is caused by water, okay? Scenes of water. And there's also a concept called green mind. If you're interested, you can go Google that as well. It's the opposite. It's when you look at nature, green scenes. So, have you noticed why people enjoy long showers? Any idea? Why do people enjoy long showers? Helps unwind? Yes. Relaxing? Yes, helps relax. Long, cold, or warm showers, or showers in general? Showers in general, depending on, the temperature that you like. Okay? The blue mind. Yes, the blue mind, exactly. So soothing sounds soothing sounds and sights of water, which I mentioned before, blue scenes, right, can induce a meditative state, like I mentioned before. So our fun fact number 2 is that being around water is a type of free therapy. Doesn't replace your original conventional therapy, but it's a type of free therapy that you get. Why? Because this state, this meditative state, can lead to increased relaxation and gives you a sense of peace. So whether you're swimming, walking along the beach, or you're, diving underwater, you're in a jacuzzi, all of these states can help you get into this meditative state. So a meditative state is when the body and mind are in a deep state of relaxation. Sometimes when you're deeply relaxed, all these like suppressed thoughts, the stuff that you forgot, kind of start coming up to the surface. So that's very normal in this state. It doesn't mean that, when you're in a meditative state, you're completely going to be not having any thoughts, your mind is going to be blank, none of that, right? But what it means is that you will definitely not be caught up in your thoughts. Like you wouldn't go on like a train of thoughts and overthink and, stress yourself. So that's what being around water can do to you. Okay, let's get to our tip. So how many of you, can you just give me like a show of hands, maybe a reaction button? How many of you play music while you work? Music with lyrics. Show of hands. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. That's quite a lot. Okay, so actually, there's research to prove, thank you for raising your hands, guys. There's actually research that proves that songs with lyrics can be very distracting because the words that you're hearing can interfere with your thought process and you might focus more on the words. Even if you're not like actually consciously focusing, you might feel like, okay, my attention is somewhere else, right? And it can be very distracting to do the task at hand. So my tip to you for today would be if you're someone who plays music while you work, or if you are home alone and you don't have, you're just doing something all alone by yourself and you want some company, try playing water sounds, right? It's very interesting. Try playing water sounds instead of music and anything else. So I've shared a bunch of links here, which Medini at the end will share for sure with you, and you can go check it out. There's even a Spotify playlist for those of you who are interested in, if you have the Spotify app, you can just save the playlist. All of this, either it's pure water sounds, like sounds at the beach, sounds of streams, rivers, or it's lo-fi water music, meaning there's a little bit of music, like slight piano in it, but it's mostly water sounds. So whichever one works for you. Or classical music, Baroque. Yeah, those are also some stuff that we listen to. So this is free. If you don't have time to go visit a beach, you don't have time to go visit, water bodies, you're too busy, you just want like a quick, therapy relief, this is something you can do at home. What about if you have enough time to plan and you have the financial resources and you're also okay to go visit these places? I would highly, highly recommend you to at least once a year. If it's really difficult, I know it's not that difficult. We can all try and make it to like a beach or a tiny somewhere, someplace. There'll be a tiny stream somewhere. If not, open the tap in the back of your house if there's a tap and just listen to the water rushing. Anything works, right? But these are my favorite places that I like to go. And it's not only about going here, it's also about putting your phone away and actually listening. So when we go on vacation, something that we see is that people get very caught up in making memories and taking pictures, which is all fine, but you're also there for a very short period of time. So take a few minutes. It doesn't take that long. Let your mind be still and just listen. Just listen to what you can hear. So with that, I would like to know what are some of your favorite places to wish to visit, especially water bodies. Do you have any recommendations for me to go visit? What are your thoughts? No suggestions for me? I'm the only one giving you suggestions?
I think typing takes some time.
Okay, I like to go to Golford. Yes, Abiha, I went to Golford recently and that's what inspired that slide. Down South cafes, yes, love it. Okay, give it 30 more seconds. Golf Face. Yeah, Golf Face is pretty good too. I mean, like it's free, it's just there. We pass Golf Face all the time. Bentota is my go-to. Okay. I still haven't been to Bentota. I need to go to Bentota. Nilavali Beach in Trincomalee. It's amazing. If you haven't gone, you should definitely go. Garthmore Falls. Okay, that's interesting. I like the water fountains at home. Not a place to visit, but still relaxing. True. That's very interesting. The home decor stuff. Yeah, I mean, you can still listen to water sounds on that as well. Still counts. Recently, I went to Galwela Falls. Okay, Galwela Falls is going on my list. Thank you for sharing, Gayatri. Arugambe. Sadly, I haven't been. I need to go. Thank you, Medini, for sharing. Aisha says Pasikuda. Have I been to Pasikuda? I think I have, but I was too small to remember. Kitulgala. Kitulgala Falls. Yeah, I think we've been on a school trip. I really can't remember, but these are places that I might have to try. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for all your shares. So let's just quickly look at the mental health benefit of being around water. So there is this, again, another stress hormone called cortisol, right? So actually being around water can help reduce your cortisol levels. Cortisol is actually needed for our body. It's not a bad thing. We need cortisol because it helps our body to respond to stressful situations. But what happens is when there's too much of cortisol, you can have problems such as anxiety, depression, heart disease, weight gain. All of these things can come up. So being around water can actually help you bring down your cortisol levels. So with that, I come to the end of the presentation. Here's a summary of what we discussed today. I hope you can screenshot this and keep it for later if you need to. So we discussed two fun facts. Fun fact number one, drinking water can keep your brain sharp. Fun fact number two, being around water is a type of free therapy. And this is what I wanted you all to take away from today. First thing is to figure out the personal number of liters of water that you should drink. We can share the links now, Medini. The time or the place when and where you're going to drink water. So if you're not someone who drinks water very often, then maybe figure out a time and place that you can drink water every day. Like I mentioned before, the trigger, behavioral activation. And we also shared some useful links to listen to water sounds. And you guys gave me a lot of inspiration to enjoy blue scenes of nature more than I did. I just had like 4 or 5, and I got so many from the chat. So thank you so much for spending 45 minutes with me and listening to me talk about water and mental health. I really, really hope I did a good job. I hope I covered all bases, and I hope you can take something away from this. And I would like to invite you to ask any questions. Please, no medical questions. Anything within the scope of this presentation before we end. Thank you,
Oh, you
Nafla.
got nice feedback. You know,
Yeah.
you can also ask, don't worry, you can ask your medical questions as well. And what we will do is we will try to consult someone, get the answers, and post it for you. So it's
Yes.
not an issue. Okay?
This was
We're
my-
here to help. We're here to see what we can do.
this was
Good.
my-
More than questions, you are getting some wonderful feedback. There you go.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sajida. Thank you. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you. Thank you, Farah. If you have, thanks, Medini. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the wonderful feedback. If you have anything else, any questions, you can always ask me now. Or any feedback or anything that you didn't like. You're like, hey, you know what? Didn't like this.
So while we wait for more feedback from everybody or shares, I just want to let everybody know that I dropped a link to our WhatsApp group, which has these talks going on. You can join the group if you want Nafla's, recording or any other material. We're going to put it down on the group for you. Take what you need, and you're free to leave the group as well. No problem. Okay, because it's just easy for information dissemination. It's up here. Copy it and let me just put it down here. Go ahead. Well, if you have no questions, you can give your shares and you're free to go into your weekend and enjoy your Saturday, Sunday. Maybe some of you, it is not your weekend. Maybe it is work day. So I'm just going to say enjoy your Saturday and Sunday. Nafla, thank you so much. That was such a wonderful presentation. Very engaging. You had some wonderful facts, and I loved how you really tailored in everything so seamlessly. It's very easy to remember as well, even if you don't have any material to take away. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for rocking up and showing some lovely support for Nafla as well. Okay.